And we're coming back with Laurie Ucher because there are always, on Fridays, we get these email blasts from Seneca Savings. I'm telling you, Joe, the things that are happening on people trying to steal our accounts and take our money. Don't talk to anybody that calls you, folks. Do not talk to anybody and communicate on the phone, period, especially if they say they want your money. Hang in there, folks. News Radio 570 WSYR, now on 106.9 FM. Thank you for listening, folks. It's been a pleasure being here behind this microphone. Been a long time. I thoroughly enjoy coming here every Saturday to wake you up in the morning, and that's my mission, to wake you up. You got to move. As Dr. Holly Noun says, just move, Dad. Just move. Keep moving. All right, and our co-host, I hope he's still on the line, from St. Petersburg, Florida, Mr. Joe Convertino, president of CH Insurance. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Perry. I just toweled off from jumping in the pool.
Very good, very good. Okay. Now, listen, our next guest is Laurie Ucher, Senior Vice President for Retail Banking. I got another email blast from Seneca Savings. She said, did you get our email blast for Friday? Unfortunately, I didn't. I was in a tournament. So to tell us about the email blast again, Laurie Ucher, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Terry. I'm great. How are you today?
I'm good. We got Joe Convertino co-hosting the show with me, and he's in St. Petersburg.
Oh,
hi, Laurie.
okay.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Now, you texted me and you said that did I get the email blast? Unfortunately, I didn't. Tell us about the email blast from Seneca Savings.
Well, we are sending out emails every Friday now just to talk about the topic of fraud because it is so prevalent. And the topic this week was vishing with a V. We talked about phishing with a P. This is phishing with a V. And this type of scam happens when a fraudster contacts the customer through a call, and they pose to be either a banker, a company executive, an insurance agent, a government official, something to the point where the customer is thinking that it's legitimate. And then they gain the trust of the user on the other end. They ask for information. They ask for information like their names, their date of birth, their address, just to gain information from different sources. This type of scam, you would think that people would know enough by now not to give out this information, but it happens. Once they have your information, they can use it to their own, however they'd like to maybe they're applying for a credit card. They might be doing something that you don't know. So a legitimate organization would never ask you to provide your personal information over the phone. And if you receive a call from anyone asking for your personal information, do not give it to them. Instead, ask their number, their name of the organization they represent, and then hang up. Because then you can call the organization directly using a phone number from a trusted source, such as the official website or a recent statement or a bill, if they're posing to be someone associated with you.
Joe, this is up your bailiwick. You take over with Laurie.
Well, it's not. I mean, I've never seen the increased just scams out there. Both, obviously, she's talking both personal and for businesses. And I mean, Perry, we'd love to get your identity, but we can never get it. But Laurie's right. I mean, now it's coming through texting. It's email, it's texting. It's awful. And obviously, Laurie knows more on, as they do personal insurance and all of that. There is some little bit of identity coverage for, people under their homeowners insurance, and then we're seeing a lot of businesses get some coverage for this with cyber liability. But the bank, a lot of these banks, like Laurie's bank at Seneca, they educate consumers, and it's so important. And you worry about everybody, but I had a friend, Laurie, who they scammed his 88-year-old mother, okay? Almost $30,000, right? You worry about everybody, but that happened to his mother, and it's tough to get the money back. I don't know, how does it work, Laurie, when they do get something? What do banks do, and particularly Seneca? How do you try to help the consumer? Maybe that's a question we'd want to have answered as far as what you guys might do.
Yeah, well, we do have, we'll get an alert if it's outside of the normal course of activity for our customers. So if it's a transaction that doesn't necessarily fit in, the customer and the bank we will receive a notification. But, more importantly, we know our customers too. And if someone's coming in and wanting to take out cash, people that don't normally take out cash, suddenly they're taking out cash, and we ask them questions, right? We ask them, why are you taking the money out? And some people might feel that's none of your business, but most of the time we usually identify if it's not for a legitimate reason. So just being proactive on our end, as well as educating our customers about what not to do. Someone brings in a letter, that's another thing, getting letters in the mail, and some people fall for stuff like that. So,
well, we're not going to fall for that any longer, folks. There are two things you have to do. If somebody tries to contact you by email, for sure, don't do anything. And then the second thing is, if somebody calls you on the telephone and wants your personal information, you must be kidding me. And by the way, I play the game with them because I say, well, could you please give me your name and your telephone number? And are you a not-for-profit or are you a for-profit company? And then usually I get a hang-up. That's what happens to me.
Yeah.
But Perry, what if they're a member at Eastlake?
Oh, well, if they remember at Eastlake, that's different. Then I think we got to continue with this.
Laurie, that's different if it involves golf for Perry. He would talk forever with him.
No. Anyway, Laurie, this has really been good. I mean, I can't, and there are different types of scamming now. Please continue. Tell Joe to continue sending out those emails from Seneca Savings. I love talking about this stuff, especially to protect the consumer, because that $30,000 that Joe was talking about for that 88-year-old woman, that's terrible. And think how bad she feels, and the family now. And they throw their hands up, but do not respond to anything on the telephone or, well, if you're on the telephone, ask them for their name, Laurie, right? Excuse me. Ask them for their name and telephone number and then hang up.
Yeah, that's right. Try to get as much information from them as you can.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, or you can report it, correct, Laurie? I'm seeing things now where there's not a button, but on texting it says report. Are there ways to report this?
There is. I believe that you're right, Joe. I think that you can report. You can report. You can also, there's a way that you can block the calls coming in too, if it's someone continuing to call.
Yeah. Well, Laurie, want you to have a wonderful weekend. I know you're going to play 72 holes of golf today and tomorrow. Good luck with that. I know it's a marathon, but keep up the good work, Laurie. Keep up the good work on the golf course.
Oh, thanks, Terry.
All right. Say hello to everybody over at Seneca Savings, and I'm going to touch base with you next week, okay?
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, there she goes, folks. Thank you. Laurie Ucher, Senior Vice President for Retail Banking. Joe, this is interesting stuff. We just don't have to talk about golf every single second of every single day. This is really important, especially in your insurance business.
Yes, it is. But the problem is this is affecting the golfers, our listeners. This is happening everywhere. No one is excluded from identity theft or these types of things. It's not fun to go through that, and I don't like it when they scam. They scam everybody, but with the elderly person that lives alone that takes that phone call and they think it's their son or daughter, Perry.
Yes.
And that stuff's happening. So
terrible. Yeah.
Be cognizant, and we just got to keep talking about it.
Yes, we have. Okay, Joe,